Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to 999. So, in the last recording, we went down the left path, unlocking all of those white keys, down to the point where we nearly had unlocked everything, except for the far left coffin icon, and it seems to me like this is the good ending. So, what I think happens here is you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bad endings, and then you have a good version of the bad ending that seems to require you to get all the other endings or know some bit of information, like know some number code. And it's not even like the game throws a combination lock in front of you or a digital input in front of you, and then you have 5 minutes to guess the code or try brute force it, or you have 3 attempts. Wouldn't even be fun. Weird if it was 9 attempts to guess the code. Would be fine. It just storyline wise tells you don't know the code, and that's just kind of where the game ends, and it ends with a to be continued ending. So now we're going to try and go down this path, and I don't think I can skip anything, unfortunately, because I'm a little afraid that there might have been a key here I just didn't find, and there might have been a key here that I didn't just find, or some kind of conversation there that I didn't find. It might be the case that there's even a key in a conversation down on this path, but I don't think so. This left path also was weird in its storyline. It almost completely tied in the 2 parallel stories, in the idea of one story being about Alice and having being this like mummy curse that sunk the Titanic that maybe is cryogenically frozen. The other story is more about the kidnapping of the kids and the experimentation, of which Clover and Snake were kidnapped. So we kind of know the connection for most of the characters, except for Ace and Santa and June and Junpei. We still don't really know what the connection there is. Whereas everybody else clearly are connected to the kidnapping of the kids in some way. It could be that I got a bad ending here simply because I chose both dialogue options instead of just one. But if that's the case, if we make it all the way through this path and it's not blatantly obvious what needs to happen next, I'm going to just look at a walkthrough because this is going to take a long time. Speaking of this taking a long time, we need to just speed run through all of this. So, I guess the thing to take from this, more than anything, would be
what's wrong? You got weird all of a sudden.
The idea that
I heard something
since
strange. Something strange? Ah, well, never mind. It doesn't seem to be anything suspicious. I don't wish to toot my own horn. But my
so what did he
auditory
just
senses
hear
are
strange?
Considerably more advanced than those of most humans. I notice even the slightest of noises.
Right. Are you gonna tell me you can hear a needle drop from a mile away?
So, in the last ending we just did, it pretty much proved,
However,
assuming we know that the story is always the same and reality is just not changing based on our decisions, we kind of know that Snake isn't dead, even though it looks like he was dead.
That's right. When Clover fell on the big staircase a little while ago, you were
So-
outside immediately.
Yeah,
So that was...
there's...
yes.
You kind of have to assume that that's always the
In
case.
fact, I can run quite fast. Certainly as fast
And
as
perhaps the idea here is
should
Snake
someone attempt to
actually
start a
is
fight with me,
telepathic,
I am quite confident that I could defeat them.
even though he's blind. Yeah.
Really? You don't believe me, do you? Care to give it a try? I must warn you, you'll no doubt regret it.
See, the thing that's weird
I
there
suppose that's enough
is if
playing
he's
around.
saying that he
Let's
could take
resume our
anybody in a
search,
fight,
shall we?
then how did he get caught? How did he get kidnapped? This is the room with the weird music. Save for the dial in it. We won't be able to open it until we know the right numbers. So maybe this is a hint that about the coffin at the end of the game that you won't be able to open until you know the right numbers. So clicking on the light freaked him out. Feels like there might be something secret here. And trying to avoid doing the wrong thing or doing the same things. Lights are lit. A map of the ship. I just remembered what the thing was that I had written down on my cell phone. It was actually the musical notes. That was a funny line of dialogue. I'm just trying to click on everything to see if there's possibly anything else. So you can't pull the plug yet to drain the bathtub. You can't turn to the side here. If we look at the map, yeah, there should be a toilet. But it doesn't seem like there's a way to get to the toilet. Okay. So now we have found the toilet. It's just a lot. Junpei, look, there's a hand coming out of the toilet. Just a joke, kid. Not funny, man. I'm too old for this. So, I think I may have triggered a joke outcome there, but nothing of real importance. Right. So, we grab the vase before we even need it. And over here, we've got this. And then another suitcase. And then this. Oddly, you can see this door as if there would be something else to click on. We can try and go back. Can't do anything with the light switch. Can't go back. Yeah, it doesn't look... It does seem like if you click on things multiple times, you're getting a different ending. And then this doesn't seem to be anything. Some of these things clearly click on multiple times and nothing happens though. So it's not a guaranteed solution. It's just that some things, at least in this escape room, will give you multiple responses, which makes me think that there's probably a different response you can get for a lot of conversations. But I don't know if what that means, really. Like, I don't know how this really will change this outcome and potentially unlock something. So we have a score plate. Now we have this conversation,
Hey, Seven.
which Seven is just going to start, is going to admit a little bit earlier he has amnesia.
Yeah, I'm fine. I just felt a little dizzy.
It doesn't really mean anything.
What the hell is wrong with me? There's memory loss, no getting dizzy for no reason.
But oh, we're in the adventure screen, by the way. We should be in the novel screen.
Oh, I told him I didn't realize I had.
Let's skip through all of this and see if there's.
Why are you in amnesia?
If I knew that.
Oh, yeah.
See if we get a prompt for a new conversation.
Huh?
Well, you look pretty. If you really got.
Well, sure, but I've had some time to get. After all, well, people, I figure it'll work.
That's
it. All right, that's enough talk.
How are you fine with something like?
What we're not seeing is we're not seeing like an instance where Seven, because he has amnesia, is somehow remembering something. So yeah, we'll jump through all of this. So it seems like we don't have any options. Really. And I don't think this is gonna change any, so unless I'm supposed to just do this on the first try, I don't know what the real issue here is. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this for 5, 6, was 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 3, 5, 4, 3, and then 4, 3, 5, 6, 6, 5, 4, and 3. And I had that already written down, so yeah, if you were using a walkthrough in this game, it would be fairly easy to solve puzzles like this. But it does really seem like nothing you have to say with Snake matters, because you don't get into a voiced dialogue with him at all. Like, maybe they just didn't want to play a voice actor to voice Snake, because he's such a smaller character in the game. Safe. It's a safe. A safe, huh? The exit's open. Yes. Strange we didn't need to open this to achieve our goal. Do you think that's important? I wonder what's in there. Leave it alone and move on. But you never come back to this room. Like, there's no point in the flow that you come back to this room. And there's nothing you do with the vanity. And so it feels like what we're going to potentially have to do is we'll go down this path, get that one ending we don't have that's probably a bad ending, and it's going to reveal something to inspire us to have to go down this section a second time. Either that's the case, or it's just a really, really poorly designed escape room that works very differently than any of the other sections.
Another hallway?
That should...
What's he up to?
He does leave that
Let's
section
put one of those plates in there. It ought to keep
opened.
the door locking. Now we can come back here anytime we want, right?
Ah, why would you want to come back here?
So he does have a voice actor. There was just no important conversation that happened in that section.
Play a little piano.
Piano?
Come on, let's get...
Well then.
Can't say I could ever imagine 7. He couldn't use the piano, but why would he want to? I have no... Hey, wait for me!
But it does seem like, yeah, nothing really happened new there. No dialogue, conversation, or anything like that. So let's just go into full all skip mode here and see if we get prompted to say anything. We get into the casino section. There was no prompt or change there. So we're looking to see if there might be a key in this puzzle. And let's see. They're finding all kinds of cards. Should we get 7 drunk? Yeah, we're kind of skipping things here. We're just not really trying to run into too much stuff. And we got a coin bag. Now, I want to go over here and try the coin bag in this one. So coin got stuck in that one. And so get the coin stuck in this one. So now the coin was stuck in both of them. So then we end up in the third one. Spin. Am I gonna screw this up? It'd be kind of funny to screw it up actually. Let's just do that. Yeah, it seems like you can do this as many times as you want. So so we get the Venus key and we get another key card, and the keys don't show up in the inventory. I don't think we have any more coins. Huh? A light. Wait, did Snake just tense up? Hey, what's up? No, never mind. No need to worry. He does. He freaks out every time I click on a light. There's gotta be something. There's gotta be something around a light switch somewhere that Snake doesn't want us to touch. Because Snake knows about a secret passage because Snake has done the Nonary game before. So Snake faked his own death and escaped. And why would he do that and leave Clover? Why not take her with him? Yeah, let's do a quick spin around the room and see if there's anything new we can see. Hmm. So, yeah, I think I've done everything.
Ah, Baccarat.
So,
You ever played Junpei?
it doesn't seem to me like any of this
All right, then.
really
How about I explain
matters,
the rules to you a bit?
except for the part where
See, Baccarat is kind of an unusual game.
clicking on lights are making Snake tense up. And I guess at a certain point after the story, there's no way you could have been playing with Snake. So there's a slight hint there.
The way each hand works is different from other games too.
But if Snake is really the bad guy and he escaped, leaving Clover behind, then through a secret passage, how did he get locked up in the coffin? Or is he in the coffin, or is someone else in the coffin? Is Alice in the coffin?
That's it. That's the explanation. Got it?
And see, I'm just talking directly over this conversation.
Strategy, details, that sort of stuff. But what I just told you sums up the core. The single digit of the strongest hand is the weakest hand. You just ignore the number in the 10. Do you get it?
Yeah. Well, maybe half. However, we have no way of. Then I guess we try.
So, we want to make 9. And we can actually go into the inventory system here. So, a digital root of 9 or just 9 in total? Because 2 and 6 and 1 wouldn't work because we don't have 1, 4, 5, and nothing will work there. 5 and 6 and 8 wouldn't work. Let's see. 4 and 6 won't work. 4 and 7 won't work. It's got to be something pretty low. Either it's got to be 2 or 3 plus then 5 and let's see. 7 and 6 would be 13. 13 plus 5 would be 18, which would be 9. Let's do that. Let's do 7, 6, 5, and then it would have a digital root of. And we're getting the explanation again. Let's do a digital root of 9 instead of doing a total 9. So 7, 6, and so that's 13 and 5. And that would make 13, not following the Baccarat rules, the digital root. Yes, open for me. Great. You did it, Junpei. Just think it's... You think it's telling you to take the 8 card? Come on, let's grab it. So, yeah. I don't know if that was the same solution we did before or what. And this time we're putting in the 8 card to open it. Although we could have potentially put in a different card and seen what happened. So the ace and 8 made 9. Now They once again want you to make 9. It kind of makes sense that this should have been the first room with the first puzzles, because this really is getting to the heart of the digital root puzzles, and you can easily miss the casino. And even if you do the casino, you're not forced to do it over and over again just to refresh you as far as what the digital roots are. This is going to add up to 9 one way or the other, so let's go with 4 and then 3, and it moves them around oddly. They only animated it one way. Alright. Junpei, where are you going? Isn't the exit unlocked now? The liquor. You're gonna drink the booze on the counter. Well, I'm not gonna let you beat me to it. For one, you're way too young to drink liquor. I turned 21 a while ago. Oh, so now we have an actual age of him. God, just leave my mess alone, alright? Junpei, we must leave before 7 goes insane. I think it's a little late for that. So 7 is literally not letting you it's not letting you go any further. So you do get some more lines of dialogue, interesting. But it doesn't seem like you can click on anything else. So through the door we go. And apparently if you hit the back button on the controller, that will skip some of that animation. Again, we're through that flow section and we didn't find any keys, but we did find something interesting out, I suppose. So I don't see a reason why any of this would have changed. We're just gonna wait and just skip through all of this and see if there's any conversation. No, we just get to this conversation and pretty soon we get into the big hospital room and Snake is still with us, so he's not dead yet or not run off yet. And it would have to be after this point that he runs away, so you have no other opportunities to do anything. It does kind of imply that Snake can't be 0, or 0 specifically intended for you to have trouble and not be able to open these doors, because there really was no point at which somebody could have run ahead and taken out the controls, unless you're just assuming Snake did it before the game even started. And this is just a ton of conversation, but none of which really I think is going to add too much to the story. And yeah, at this point it definitely feels like Lotus is just a red herring character. She's just there to distract you. Ton of dialogue. Ton of dialogue. So at this point Snake is missing, and it feels like at this point Snake is probably 0 and he planned all of this at the same time, because it'd be kind of crazy if Snake ran off, he had a body ready to plant to fake his own death. Interesting. Well, let's go ahead and just choose something different instead of choosing the same thing. I think we're fine with this decision. And let's just leave her alone. And then let's go to the casino. Seems almost like there's a... Let's refuse and leave. Just a whole bunch of options. It doesn't seem like it matters at all. And see, then this brings us back to the casino as a new option. And back to the large hospital. What should Junpei do? This seems like this is new stuff. Where should they go next? So it's just we're just like looking.
Check out the first class cabin.
All right, let's go.
First class cabin.
No one's here. Maybe we'll have more luck somewhere else. But where?
Just a lot of dialogue here.
How about the casino?
Let's go take a look.
There's no one here. Let's try somewhere else.
Let's see. Well, let's go back to the first class.
First class cabin. It's really close.
Let's see if maybe there's a branching path.
No one's here.
Here.
We'll have more luck, but where? How about the casino?
Let's go take a
So this seems like this kind of goes in all kinds of orders. So I mean, we're just trying to do everything, I guess. And I guess at this point we've searched and we've searched and we've searched. So that I've now, I think, eliminated every option. Yeah, the casino, the first class cabin, the hall with this, and really this just doesn't feel like anything is going on. And then finish searching.
Why don't we decide on one person to sacrifice?
So, yeah. We powered through all of that. And the thing we can't do is go back inside the first class cabin and search inside of it. It feels like you should be able to do that. And then we've got to figure out which path do we want to take. I think what we want is the 8-door. We'll just, again, click things we haven't clicked.
Anyway, that's how it is. Now if we can get back to my proposal.
So there was some dialogue there I missed.
We only have to sacrifice one person.
Honestly, I don't...
3, 3, and 1.
I don't really care so much about missing a lot of this at this point. Like, because I really do think a lot of these options are nothing options. I don't think they have anything to do with it.
Maybe we should sacrifice 2.
That's not what we shouldn't sacrifice.
I told. Wait.
Whoa. Look, you should aim.
Exactly. And for that, what do you think?
No, I'm not.
What about you?
Me?
All right.
Just a lot of dialogue, a lot of characterization that makes sense in the first playthrough, but it really doesn't make any sense later on.
Brother, we've searched everywhere. Let's go look for him together. We sacrifice you, right?
Okay.
Now, let's start a vote.
That won't be necessary.
So I guess this one event is probably trying to make it look like she was going to have
That should solve
a
our problem.
vote to see who was going to be sacrificed after they voted to sacrifice somebody. And Ace, possibly Zero,
I said I would. I trust you. I believe. Whoa. Let's do. If we go, you won't be able.
he probably
But what?
saw that coming and didn't want to
Ideally, within
split up the group in a weird way. But see, this also kind of makes it seem like he's not Zero, because if the idea was that Zero is Ace, why not stay with the group? Well, I guess it really doesn't matter too much because he knows all of those doors are just going to circle back.
Perhaps you would. You see.
But then what's the point of these puzzles in the first place?
Let's accept.
Good. Perhaps I'll
The
be
the
able to
only
give you my
weird
hand.
thing is maybe if we went through door 3, maybe there is a secret passage in door 3. I mean, there would have had to been a way to sneak in there,
Well, what do you wait? We're wasting time.
wouldn't there? Unless
You're right.
Snake had already set that up.
Seriously.
You too, Sam? There has to, right? Just say something.
Yeah, there's gotta be.
We're just trying to skip through all of this as quickly as possible.
Come on. We just.
Here's a custom animation that really didn't need to happen.
I'm alright.
How are you?
This.
I wonder if maybe Ace is just a self-insert character, really, for the author. Maybe he just felt like he sees himself as the
For real?
smart person,
Did you?
Yes.
Anesthetic.
I found while we were searching. I
the
thought it might be-
fatherly figure
Why
of the story.
I really.
Ace.
I just like.
No.
So I think.
Ace.
It probably wouldn't have hurt if they had animated Ace a lot older, like decrepitly old, mid-70s, 80s, 90s.
We really don't have we can't let his right?
Like,
Like you even.
you could make him spry for being old,
No,
but
nothing.
you don't need to make him look like he's in his 60s or even mid-50s.
Well, we have.
Ah, yes.
That would give him a little bit more characterization.
It's the same number.
Got it. You're next, 7.
I'll take.
What?
Hmm.
Who me?
Oh, you're good.
And we'll just, I think we can all skip all the way down to this point. We're going to take door 8. And then we can just all skip all the way down from this point. Because there's no choices or conversations, I think, at all. And that leaves us with the 2 girdles. And we can still just all skip until we actually enter the laboratory. And then it will become a question about the conversation. And I think we can just all skip right up until this point, because there's no conversations about that either. This was a weird path because it shows that Lotus can hack / use computers for no reason. That doesn't get explained. We need to have 2 conversations here or we've dropped the ball. Yeah. I don't know what if there was a secret passage in room 3, I don't know what that would really do to change anything. It would kind of ruin the left path concept, because then it would immediately make it seem more likely that Clover would recognize that Snake wasn't actually dead. We're just trying to skip as much as possible while clicking on things as much as possible. Just trying to click on every little thing at least once. Let's see. Now we have ethanol. So this is weird too, that the thing isn't computer connected, and then they talked about wireless monitors. Yeah, I don't understand that part. And we're not seeing any lights. Seems like you can maybe click on these levers multiple times. No. Then we don't really do anything with this. So we have the power cable now, and we'll just... The conversations I think we're gonna have are gonna be kind of weird ones also. Up that way. Right, over on the computer, we'll try and use the computer plug. And then we try and plug it in, and we need 3 prongs instead of, or we need 2 prongs instead of 3 prongs. And then we need to give the ethanol to her. So now we don't have the ethanol. There's 2 keys in here. So she cleans it. Some kind of weird writing. So what's funny is there's an inconsistency here. She pulls out a pen and a notebook in this scene, Clover does. And she asks Junpei for a pen and notebook in 2 further scenes. Or 2 different scenes. That seems silly. And see, they talk about human experiments and she looks sad. And we now kind of know why. Why she's sad if she was experimented on. Yeah, there is some weirdness that they'd be doing experiments on the ship and having people play the Nonary games, and how would they be monitoring or getting any data from the Nonary games? It's like were they forcing people to play the Nonary game over and over again, or different Nonary games over and over again, and then doing experiments on them. Alright. So we get the papers and the 2-prong plug. And we're not getting anything new. And then we just merge these other two things. And they're very basic. And then we use this with this. See, it's just so crazy that works and Lotus doesn't question it.
Oh, that worked.
And this part is a voice section, but it doesn't make sense.
Huh? It's running on its own?
Yeah.
It certainly looks like it.
Why would this run on its own? Why is this an important conversation?
What?
Well, it's not connected to the main computer, right?
Why
There's just this keyboard and monitor.
Why would Lotus be a hacker? Why would she know about
we just plugged in?
Wireless monitors? Why is she not questioning any of
Why
this?
is it working?
Maybe it's a wireless display.
A wireless display.
And see, now that we're in novel mode, we can see
connects to your
some.
computer wirelessly, hence the name. Have you been living in a cave, Junpei?
Is that normal?
Yes, at least where I worked.
Oh.
Where did she work?
Oh, it stopped.
Pass with a colon.
Looks like we need to enter a password.
Again, there must be a hint around here somewhere.
It does kind of point towards the idea of her
What are you going to do?
actually working for Cradle Pharmaceuticals.
On your own?
Yep, on my own.
Lotus?
Yeah.
All right.
Why
Let's kick some ass.
Maybe this is the revelation that she actually works. She's either from the future or she works at Cradle Pharmaceutical and is a super hacker.
What?
Didn't expect that, did you?
Of course.
Really, this is just an excuse for them to draw her
fast,
cleavage.
I can't even see your fingers. What kind of job do you have? What are you?
Good questions. I'm unemployed at the moment.
I'm unemployed at the moment. This I think is new dialogue.
Huh? Oh. It was just something.
I see.
So she quit working for a cybersecurity firm after she started trying to find out what happened to her daughters.
What are you doing now?
And she probably became really
Then try and
smart.
brute force it.
And a hacker too tried to find out what happened to her daughters.
A brute force attack is... Well, the short version is that I just attack the thing head on. The long version?
This does just feel like new dialogue though. I don't remember this. It feels like the game is just slightly changing.
One of the simplest ways to break a cipher. It checks every possible combination until it finds the right one. For a complex cipher, it can take a very long time. I'm writing a program that would run an attack like that on its own.
This feels
Most
different.
elegant solutions, certainly.
Why make a game though that
But
would
given
change
circumstances,
and
there's
not
much else I can do.
make it so obvious, make it obvious that it changes? Like I wouldn't expect to go and play Super Mario
Yeah,
Brothers
but that's
1
what we were talking
and
about.
then load in and find that all the
we're
enemies
talking
are in
about
different places and the level
wireless
layout was
display.
completely different.
It's kinda
because then
strange
you-
if think
it-
about it, isn't it?
Kind of then makes it like a roguelike game at that point where just everything would be
How do I
randomized.
put it?
And I cannot
Well, let's say you write a
think
program that calculates
that that would be a
addition
good
on-
idea for a visual novel with branching paths
So
like
you
this.
enter 1 + 1. The screen will show you 2.
Hmm.
See? Isn't that strange?
No, not really.
Hmm.
Oh, come on now. Of course a caveman like you would think it was strange. You said so just a minute ago.
Am I a caveman? Was Junpei a caveman?
Hmm?
You're just not getting it, are you? Who calculated 1 + 1?
The main computer, right? You said it connected to the monitor wirelessly.
Yeah, but someone who grew up in a cave wouldn't know that, right?
Hmm.
They'd probably think that this thing here, the monitor, is doing the calculating.
Yes. What's the
And once they
point of
decide
this?
that, they'll start examining this monitor.
What's the
They
point of
might
the story?
Poke the screen or something. Ah, I see the color changes when I press it here. Then they might investigate the hardware on the inside. Oh, I see. So this wire supplies the power. Eventually, they might even cut the wires. Ah, yes. Just as I expected. When this wire is cut, no results appear.
This does not feel like a conversation we've
Therefore,
had before.
It must be this device which does the calculations.
I think they're trying to get to a
But the truth is that,
philosophy
just like you
idea,
said, the computer is doing the calculating.
but like the prime mover
But these cave
concept.
people wouldn't know that. Because they have no idea that the monitor and the computer are connected wirelessly.
So, what are you trying to say?
Yeah, what are you trying to say?
Nothing, really. It's just, I thought maybe. What if the relationship between human beings and our brains is like that?
Hmm.
Huh?
There's a lot of nerve
Just a bunch of
endings for
electrodes
if the brains were wireless.
A scientist examining the signals they send out might say, interesting. So stimulating this part of the brain causes the person to see colors.
This idea kind of falls apart because nobody's ever had a hand chopped off and still been able to control it and make it move.
Okay, let's see what happens when I cut out this part. Ah, just what I thought. Cutting off this part causes that function to cease.
I guess maybe she's making the argument that maybe there's something
Therefore,
controlling
human
the
thought
brains.
processes must occur in the human brain. See?
Is
Doesn't it
this
sound
a
same?
different story that we're getting because we went down the right
The
path?
brain is just an output device, like this monitor. somewhere else, in a main body. We just don't know it. We never
Again, this is one of those philosophies and concepts and ideas
just like
that
those cave people wouldn't know about
don't
wireless
really
communications.
answer anything and are just kind of pointless to think about.
We
There's
can't imagine that there's some unknown medium that transfers information into our brains, where we experience that information.
unless the idea is that the Egyptian princess Alice is controlling all of these characters telepathically. And since these are game characters, yeah, I as the player am controlling Junpei sort of telepathically.
The brain is just an output device. Human thought actually occurs somewhere else. That's just crazy talk.
Yeah, that's pretty much all it just boils down to.
Maybe that's the cause of Seven's amnesia. If memory is actually stored somewhere else, in some sort of main body somewhere, maybe he hasn't forgotten anything at all.
I don't
He's just having a difficult time accessing
get
his memories.
the
His
reason.
monitor, his brain, has been damaged.
I don't get the reason why so many of these red herring stories are thrown out. Or
I suppose
why
that
these
leaves
aren't
aphasia and blindsiders,
obvious
too.
red herring stories, and it seems like maybe these will end up with a bad
Monitor just
ending
isn't
somehow.
functioning properly. I guess people with prosopagnosia could be suffering from the same thing.
Maybe the
Wait a minute.
if you're gonna throw out all of this,
What?
it kind of feels like a Jacob's Ladder situation from the Jacob's Ladder movie, not the
What?
old
You've
one.
never heard of prosopagnosia?
But the newest, the original Jacob's Ladder movie. That if this game was gonna throw out a bunch of weird paths that are actually going to contribute to what ending you get, it feels like Junpei should get a little bit more flashes of being crazy, or dreaming up a lot of this. Because it doesn't, I think, serve the story very well to have Junpei act as a rather sane character amongst so much insanity. I have no idea what prosopagnosia is.
No. What is it?
Well, put simply, it means a condition where the mind can't distinguish between human faces.
Yeah, I don't... Again, don't
My face
recall
will look
this.
the same as Clover's or even yours,
Yeah,
so they can't remember faces, which is how most people recognize each other.
it'd probably be helpful not to have the typing sound effect over this.
That means that people with prosopagnosia have trouble recognizing even people they're close to.
Is there a possibility that any of the characters in this game would have that disease though, or disorder? Couldn't be Junpei because he recognized June. It probably couldn't be anybody like Clover or Ace. Well, Ace might have it, but you just wouldn't know. It's probably not Santa. Probably not Seven. Like, nobody acts like they don't recognize people multiple times. Snake has his eyes closed and is allegedly blind, so he could have it.
Usually they can make do by associating people with other things. Their voices, their clothes, their hair.
Does that mean other people's faces look like blanks?
No, I don't think so.
There's a good movie with where the main character has that disease where they can't recognize faces, and I've jokingly accused myself of having that disease in a low form.
Well, you've seen monkeys, like in a zoo, right?
But I doubt I really have that disorder.
To you and me, all the monkey faces look the same.
Yep.
Even though they've obviously got faces, it's almost impossible for a human to distinguish between them. The zoo staff that works with them would learn to identify different monkeys eventually, but you or I couldn't unless one had a scar or something else to set it apart. Well, that's how people would be to someone with prosopagnosia.
Prosopagnosia. Huh. I didn't even know that kind of thing existed.
In all fairness, though, if you were looking at random crowds every day, you probably would not bother to memorize or recognize any of the faces of those random crowds either. It only becomes, I imagine, prosopagnosia if you aren't recognizing the faces of people that you care about and know and interact with on a daily basis. And of course, in an animated form like this, none of these characters are in any way going to look drastically different. And even if their faces did look drastically different, I would just call that off model of the animation and just bad animation. And of course, you're not going to recognize confused Lotus for June just by her outfit alone.
And what were we talking about?
The idea that your brain is just an output device, like a monitor.
So let's look at the flow. We still haven't unlocked
Are you
one thing.
serious about that stuff?
Not really. I was just kidding for about half of it.
What about the other half?
Well, I guess I was just adulting.
Adulting.
Not funny.
So they did this whole hacking scene just as a way of having a conversation. Meanwhile, poor Clover is freaking out because she's trapped in a laboratory with a robot.
It's nothing more than a story I made up out of boredom. Take it seriously.
She apparently just made it up out of boredom.
It was the first thing that came to mind, and I just talked about it to kill time. But looks like I don't need to talk anymore.
So was that an epiphany that she just had? Or is that story supposed to just show that she's a liar and willing to just make up stories?
I don't have to kill time any longer.
Oh, then you finished that brute whatever thing?
I certainly did. And let's see what we got. Piece of cake.
You could have fairly easily just had the game immediately jump to the screen.
Screen changed again.
So
What
clearly
was that?
they wanted that conversation to happen for some reason.
No idea. Looks like a puzzle.
Huh? Aren't you gonna, I don't know, do more computer stuff?
I guess they just wanted Junpei to not be very computer literate.
No, I can't do anymore. It won't let me do any more programming.
But
See? The keyboard. Nothing.
I don't
There's nothing more I can do.
really see the reason why
Well, I guess
he needs to be that computer literate. You could have just plugged it in and gone to this puzzle immediately.
Break, all right? I did my part.
Without Lotus, this probably would have completely run aground. Shouldn't rely on other people so much, Junpei thought to himself.
You're right.
No problem. And make sure you know when you should thank people.
Now, I better take care of this myself. No more relying on anyone else.
So, we're just gonna go here. And I'm gonna just assume that I can solve this without even looking up the answer. So We need to look at the flow. That unlocked one key. So now we have this tumbler key.
Hey, Junpei, do you have a minute?
So now we're gonna have a different conversation. I guess, and that's gonna unlock this other key.
I wanted to ask you something. Junpei, you went into door 5 with my brother, right?
Right.
Did you hear him say, like, anything weird?
Yes.
Huh? Well, let me think. Sorry, Clover. I can't really think of anything.
So yeah, I didn't hear
He
anything.
mentioned that his hearing exceeds that of a regular person, or something like that, but... That's about it.
Okay.
Hey, wait a minute.
Hmm?
Look, I don't know if I should ask you things, but... If you don't mind, I was hoping you could tell me if, Is Snake, I mean, was he born...
Was he born
You're talking about his eyes?
blind?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't born blind. When he was a kid, he got in an accident.
Okay.
A really bad car accident.
Car accident.
He couldn't see after that.
And that...
And his arm.
And his arm.
His arm?
Yeah. My brother's left arm is... it's not like a normal person's arm.
The story has to be changing, right?
It's fake. It's not a real arm.
It
The accident
has to
hurt him
be
really bad. To
changed.
save him, they had to cut off his arm.
Oh.
It says left
You wanted to
arm.
ask me?
This is crazy. This really was really crazy. The game
Look,
is
I'm
changing
sorry.
the story
We can talk about all that
every time you
stuff.
play.
It's not that.
The story, the game needed to be way shorter for this than if they were going to do this, and it needed to be way more obvious about this idea. Now, in all fairness, I will say I don't go to Steam and look at the descriptions of games. I typically pick games mostly just by looks or by reviews or quick looks of them by other video game journalists, which is proven to be an increasingly bad idea. But let's see. It does seem to me like this should be told at the beginning of the game. It would have been fairly easy to say this story is not a regular story. With every ending, the story and reality will change. Because what we're gonna have happen now is we go here and we go here, and we find the left arm damaged. We know at that point it's not Snake. And it seems like we probably know at this point always that it's not Snake. Because I feel like there might be a conversation even over here and that would tell us that. Is there anything else we want to do? Or just clicking on things. And clicking on things multiple times does seem like it pops things out. And so it doesn't seem like there's anything else you can do. Power stored to experimental device. Emergency system will activate in the event of abnormal subject behavior. Okay. Typing on the keyboard doesn't do anything. So what are we supposed to be doing? I think we just tell her to increase the voltage and she starts it on fire, and then that lets her escape. And it feels like that is the real way that you're supposed to solve it. And so let's free Clover. And I think we're pretty much done with this. Like, I'm kind of goofing around. Just trying to see if we have... Clover's just gonna say we don't have time to look at that every time. Junpei, we don't have time to look at that stuff. We gotta get out of here. Clover's right. We need to get out of here now. So it seems like the game is intent on not letting us do anything, even though we can wander around the room and look at stuff, which is more than they let us do in the casino.
Whew, thank God we got out of there.
Yeah, finally.
Oh, yeah.
And this is a voice section, so I think it's important.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
And honestly, at this point, I don't think
How about that one?
there's much
Let's
in
hope
this
this is the
story
door with
that
the
we
prize.
can skip, because it's gonna have a lot of repetitive stuff,
Huh?
but a lot of it's not gonna matter.
June? Santa?
A lot of it's probably gonna be different too.
Hey, what are you... What? But...
Hey guys, could you come take a look at this?
So they still haven't yet to find the body of Snake.
Hey, on the wall.
They got a
of the
map.
ship-
It says C deck.
So it's the map for...
Door 7. Door 8. Yep, they both eventually end up at this hallway.
Yeah. We aren't going to be split up. We might get separated. Otherwise, we won't be able. That's how the Nonary Game.
a sec.
And it's just gonna go back to the hospital room.
We may as well go.
Yeah.
Oh, almost forgot. We should keep this.
So a lot of stuff here that feels like there should be a better way to skip.
Ready?
There should be a better way to skip some of this stuff. Or, since the story is changing so much, there probably should be just dialogue that is truncated severely.
I knew it. We're back.
Like, there should be a
In the
better
hospital room.
answer. And I guess we're looking at the hospital room in this scene from the side of the numbered doors. And that's why you don't see numbered doors on this image in the background. So then they turn around.
The 6 of you split. You solved the puzzles and then met one another. At any rate, I know I said I was sure you. I didn't think it would happen.
So we kind of
Well,
skip
we
through
saw
all
each
of
other
this.
again. Anyway, I said we get out of this creepy. We found the key.
The key?
Ain't that what I just said? I'm talking about the here.
So we get a Jupiter key.
Jeez.
We have 2 keys now.
I see. So
I'm gonna let you hold on to that.
yeah.
Well, I've got something for you too then. Here, it's the Saturn key card. We found it in the kitchen.
And the Saturn key card in the kitchen.
I might lose it. It's probably better if you hold on to it. That way it won't be my fault if it gets lost.
Yeah. On it.
Which we didn't do the kitchen section.
So how many unused keys do we have now?
There's the Earth key we found in the laboratory. The Jupiter key you just gave me. And the Saturn key card from Lotus. I'll keep them safe.
Yeah, and that seems like that's always going to be the case.
The Jupiter key is supposed to be for the door at the end of that long straight hallway, right?
And on the flow, we're working forward.
Right. Then next to the stairs.
Wait!
So she wants us to go through the
What about door
number
3?
3.
Look, you saw the map, right? It's the same as 7 and 8. Just lead us back to the big hospital room. There's no point to seeing what's on the other side of that door.
There is a point, though. There's a big point now.
There is a point.
Because now we want to look at that hand, left arm, and see that it's not Snake.
At least there is for me.
And this drastically changes the outcome of the story.
Yeah, you're right.
A lot earlier than in the other path. Because if we're just about to see a body and immediately realize it's not Snake, that is way earlier than down here where the conversation happens and Clover recognizes that it's not Snake. And I don't know how that bit of information helps us much, but it's clearly going to help us some to get to this ending.
Snake might be on the other side of door 3.
Very well. I'll be coming with you then. I've had a nice long rest. I think it's time I was up and about.
So it's going to be Ace and Clover, which is 5, and Lotus.
So 7, you'll help me, won't you?
What? Ace and 7 and Clover would be 3, actually. Yeah, 4 plus 7 plus 1 equals 12, which would then equal a digital root of 3.
Damn. Well, I guess that's how it's gotta be. So I'm going with you, huh?
Yes, you are.
I guess the question would be, is there a different math puzzle you could create instead of the digital roots that would be a little easier or better? You could probably do something just like odds or evens, but I don't know if that really changes the game much.
Okay, we're heading out.
Be careful.
I still feel like every time you do one of these sequences, they probably should make you do a quick time event just to make it feel like you're doing something with some more
The
action.
rest of us can't open the 9 door.
Ah, the truth comes out.
Although I guess it doesn't really convince the player to want to play even longer if they're randomly dying when they fail a quick time event. But certainly
We're off.
from a Western perspective, from somebody who doesn't play visual novels, this game is too long, so I would not really want any more content. I would want some different content for sure, but on future playthroughs of this, I would have wanted
All right,
major
we should go with them
sections
too.
to be just automatically skipped.
Get moving.
Where are we going?
It just doesn't
Well, it
really
would be a waste of time. Let me explain.
happen. Alright, let's go ahead and
Yes.
tap the A button and skip through this whole section because I don't
Alright.
feel like any of this would change.
Great. What do you mean? Well, I'm asking you if there's any reason we came back here.
Let's go with no idea.
That's a good.
I can't believe Jinpei.
Yeah. The Saturn. And the Earth.
What about it?
So you have a choice there,
And
and
next
it doesn't matter,
And
I
I-
think, in that instance what you choose.
So the two keys.
Should let us.
Yes.
All right. What do you say we load us in?
Sounds good.
So they split in teams of 2,
We have no idea, so don't go too far.
and they just search for like 10
There's
minutes.
a card reader.
Then let's try out the Saturn key.
And then let's just go to all skip mode here, because there's no reason to do this whole conversation. I'm gonna just make a executive decision here and not do the being locked up alone with a boy conversation because that's just so long. If that's the one conversation that causes us to not get the good ending, then the game is just pretty much impossible. Now, I don't believe that there's any more conversation or anything that would be different in this section. So I would have been happy if the game just said nothing will be different for this entire chapter, and it just broke up the chapters in such a way that that was always the case. That way, the moment they stepped inside, a tremendous voice echoed across the room.
Hey, where the hell did you guys go?
7?
So, we're back to conversations.
Oh.
And Clover is all sad. One would assume that those 3 people just did not
What's
see the
wrong?
arm was broken. So, or did not mention it out loud to Clover. So, unless they just said say something different here, that they found the body.
What happened?
What the hell kind of question is that? Snake is.
And this is the point right before we get that failed speech check. So can we now do the speech check correctly and pass?
Snake is dead. He died just as the 9th man.
So let's just keep skipping forward.
Oh my god.
We should make sure.
Yeah, right. We should.
Wait, not that.
What?
So we skip through this point
I
that's
stuck a
repetitive.
screwdriver in there to keep the door. Is It's not locked, so you can go in that room.
Where?
The shower room. I put a broom
Yeah.
in there too.
If they severely had truncated the conversations on future playthroughs, it would do mountains of helpfulness to highlight the important lines of dialogue, because those parts would not be cut out.
Right? Yeah.
So, had you just walked into this room and Seven said, "Come quick, Snake's dead, come see the body. Go look for yourself." And that was the entire conversation,
Let's go.
instead of the very large amount of dialogue here on the second playthrough. That would be very
This
helpful.
wasn't open when we passed here before. Well, let's keep going.
Oh, it smells horrible.
So, if anything's going to be different, this would be what would be different. Even Santa pinched his nose.
Ugh, yeah, this is pretty awful. I feel like I'm gonna puke.
See, and Santa seems more than willing to shoot people at the end of one ending that we just had, but he's not really. So he's still a little squeamish, apparently. Smell the fish, feces, and burnt meat. It worked its way through Junpei's nose and down his throat to pound against the entrance of it to his stomach. Now, interesting scenario here. This room was either designed to look like this by Zero, at which point it very possibly would have caused some of the people to vomit up the bombs they'd swallowed. So that wasn't a smart move. In fact, a lot of the escape the room puzzles could have easily caused people to be more sick and vomit. So there's a scenario here where the game would just be ruined because somebody throws up.
Where is he? Where's Snake?
Didn't have to wonder where the body was.
There.
There's blood everywhere. A few arms of splatter reaching towards them as they walked in through the door. A few arms of the splatter reaching toward them. I guess that would be more like rays of splatter or lines of splatter. All one had to do is follow the many radial arms to the source. The body itself was hidden behind the divider.
You should stay here.
But
Please, just do me a favor, okay? I'm going in.
Felt like an eternity for him to get there. Yeah, for as many lights and shower heads and just like toilets, it feels like there might be secret passages all throughout this game, and yet we've clicked on a lot of things and not activated anything. For a minute, he forgot to breathe. He felt his heart collapse in his chest like an empty cigarette carton, and time froze. He knew that instant that he would take the image before him to his grave. What was left of the body sat in a sea of blood. Chunks of flesh torn from the body sat in the blood like tiny islands in a great red sea. A vast ragged hole had been torn in the torso. What remains of his intestines spilled out like fresh spaghetti. Small chunks of meat had splattered against the walls and become stuck there as they dried. Globules of yellowish fat had left trails like tiny slugs as gravity pulled them down the wall, even as they dried to it. how any of this would have dried in the short amount of time that this was supposed to happen is questionable. Imagine if you exploded the body, it would take at least 12 hours for all of that to dry, minimum. Probably a lot longer.
Just like the ninth man. The detonator in his bracelet set off the bomb in his gut.
Oh god. The bone is coming out of his left arm.
So here's the point. If anything was going to be different, the bone is coming out of his left arm.
It's definitely an open fracture.
It gets mentioned, and Junpei doesn't think anything about it. And he's obviously not exploded enough that you can't recognize his left arm. The bracelet lays next to him. It seemed to have hit the wall hard enough to shatter the display, which lays on the ground in pieces. So this might have been even a 10th player that got exploded. Either that, or Snake went back and got parts of the ninth man and blew him up a second time? Or made it look like he blew him up? And then broke the ninth man's bracelet.
Oh, the face. It's horrible.
Yeah, can't even tell who it is.
I don't know if this sequence matters if it's not going to change.
No mistake about it. It's Snake.
I guess maybe the idea of you can't recognize people's faces might be a hint that this isn't Snake because you can't recognize his face. But yeah, I'm not sure I fully believe that. And this series is just going further and further down the rabbit path of just going longer and longer. I think I'll probably have to look up a walkthrough. Nah, we probably will take an entire episode to get all the way down to this point. I don't think anything is going to change.
Snake was probably murdered. Chances are.
You run through this conversation.
First, the killers got, then they shoved him in and waited 9 seconds for them. Once that door shut, he probably knew it was a small chance. Unfortunately,
And
it didn't work.
let's just go to all skip all of this, because I don't think any of this is going to change. So we know Junpei is on the ship, so we can say yes. And then it becomes a question of, do we want to not believe Clover or Clover? I think we should believe Clover. I don't think it really matters in this path, but we might as well. Then we can jump through all of this. And at that point, you still don't have a motive. And at that point, it just skips. And so then they run around. And they find the doors. And this time we don't want to get in the... we don't want to go in the two-door, definitely. And we don't want to go in the one door. So we'll want to go in the 6th door. Yeah. It seems weird that you would get that story and be told directly that his left arm was artificial, fake, and then still not realize that Snake was not dead. Alright. So we go through the 6th door, and that sends the other group to the...
Oh, I'll be going too then.
It sends, I guess, Lotus and... Let's see. If it sends Lotus and 7 and Clover all in one group, then that would be 1. So they're going in the one door without you. And in this scenario, the bad scenario would have been that Clover runs away and they never find her and you get stabbed. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and make sure we save. We might as well just overwrite these saves. Yep. And it seems like the far left ending is probably... Far left ending here is probably the good ending. And we're going to get the number 4 ending. And yeah, we're probably going to get a small bit of change in the story in the escape rooms and kind of nothing else. And we've only really played through this central path once, so we're not even going to see too much repetition. And I've done a fairly good job of randomizing this, or not randomizing it really, but playing different paths at different times so that we're not going to end up seeing the same thing over and over again. But yeah, if we get to this ending and it doesn't show us a code or something to figure out, there's not been any other number system we've seen. Like, we've heard people use examples, we've heard people say numbers certainly, but nothing that stands out as an extremely long or even extremely short but obvious code. So yeah, if we are kind of lost by the time we get here, I'm going to use a walkthrough. But it's fairly obvious that this is the good ending. What would really drive me crazy is if we went down and got this ending and there was a lock over this one also, and somehow there were 2 good endings. Anyways, it's been another hour and a half plus. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.